Namaskar, good morning and a very warm welcome to Aaj Savere. From weather forecast to city weather, from weather, climate to giving the weather warnings, Indian Meteorological Department has a wide role to play. What are its role, its responsibilities, the functions and how it is keeping itself technologically equipped, we'll be talking in today's program of Aaj Savere. But before introducing our guest, let's take a look at the thought of the day. खराब मौसम जैसी कोई चीज नहीं है, वे केवल अच्छे मौसम के विभिन्न प्रकार हैं। ऐसा कहा जॉन रस्किन, जो कि एक विख्यात कला समीक्षक है। There is no such thing as bad weather, only different kinds of good weather. The words by John Ruskin, an eminent art critic. To enjoy the weather, to have the peace of mind, one has to be connected to music. So let's enjoy this morning raga. Conversation with me, Director General of Indian Meteorological Department, Dr. K.G. Ramesh. A very warm welcome, Dr. Ramesh, to Aaj Savere.
Thank you. Good morning.
So when we talk about Indian Meteorological Department, I think for a layman, for a common man, for us, it's about weather forecast. But I think the umbrella is very big, very wide.
Yes.
How do you see your responsibilities?
Basically, it started off as a weather monitoring agency, as every country will have it, and then gradually service of weather forecasting got added to it. Trigger for establishing way back in 1875 the India Meteorological Department by the British India was to measure the conditions leading to extremities like drought, famine and other things. So, people before the establishment of Met Department, there was a big Bengal famine that is known to historians, and that has been created by virtue of large deficit of rainfall, and to address it people have to measure it. how the conditions are changing over the seasons, year on year and all. So, that is how the weather meteorological reporter was the designation with which they have sent a person from UK to start meteorological department. Subsequently, it has been upgraded into a full scale department.
So, when we talk about the meteorological department, as I said, it's not just the weather forecast. There are many other things, as you were even talking before this discussion. So, please throw some light on that.
Yeah, meteorological department has several wings. Major thing is observing systems to measure the day-to-day weather changes. The observing systems section is the biggest section, and then based on that, models have to be used to send in all the observed data and then generate the forecasts of the future. We use different suites of models for a different timeline lead time forecasts, and most important thing is we do support shared mandate for flood forecasting by the Central Water Commission. We monitor rainfall happening across the river basins of the country, and we share that information for generating the flood forecast at different basins that will be issued by Central Water Commission. Another big shared mandate is for agriculture. Weather based agro advisory service is another big service we provide to agriculture department, and then aviation is half of our staff works in different airports of India. There are about 70 major functional airports in which our offices are there. Half of our med department is located with aviation, and these are the main 4 sectors. Then environmental monitoring, air quality forecasting is another biggest thing. Largely these are all 5-6 areas, but occasionally we provide when cyclone comes to shipping, ports and other offshore establishment. Oil fields, offshore oil fields are there both over Arabian Sea and as well as Ganga, Godavari, Krishna basin and all. And then for ocean state also there are some associated forecast. We have a sister institution in Hyderabad called Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services. They generate the conditions over the ocean. Conditions of the ocean will become interacting with the overlying upper atmosphere. Ocean atmospheric interaction is a continuous process which you account for predicting the future. Earlier we were only doing with atmospheric models. Now we deal with coupled models which are continuously interacting with ocean and atmosphere. These are some of the areas most of our activity goes, and there are other allied sectors of the economy like the energy sector now. Solar energy, wind energy sector, they would like to know how tomorrow, what is the sunshine hours at different locations where solar panel grids are.
And I think even the private sector for the department, you know, they are being using solar energies.
Yeah. Solar energy is in the private sector only, most of it. Energy sector demands have gone, and now the power sector uses our forecast of temperature to distribute the load across the different states of the country. If temperature is warming, for example, next 2-3 days, so demand for extra energy will come from those areas. Where areas are having likely to have reduced temperature below normal, so demand will be reduced.
So they are channelizing it accordingly.
Yes. We have direct interaction with Power Grid Corporation Control Center. So power distribution control center. So they do the load balancing by distributing, expecting the load demand increase, likely increased demand of the power. So for different applications, this kind of information is going. Now public health has become the new area where vector-borne, waterborne diseases like dengue, particular temperature and moisture conditions, नमी जो है atmosphere में, ये particular optimal level के बाद जो है, they become favorable conditions for breeding of these mosquitoes. So identifying those hot spots with a lead time of a week or 10 days can provide opportunity for municipal corporations to work on those areas where breeding is possible and minimize the breeding possibilities. Incidents cannot be avoided, but once the incidence is reported, spread can be stopped by working on breeding grounds.
That's phenomenal.
So there are so many areas now emerging, weather sensitive areas.
So I think various other sectors have been connected directly or indirectly to the Met Department. No matter, I think even a household, for that matter, a fruit which we are eating or the grocery in the kitchen, for that matter, has been connected to the Met Department
Yes.
directly or indirectly.
Yes.
So talking about India's economy, basically it's an aggregated economy. So everybody is looking up to monsoons. We have early monsoons this year. Last year we had very good rain leading to bumper stock.
Yes. Yes.
So how do you see the monsoons? Pre-monsoons are now ringing the doorbell.
This year monsoon entered from Kerala. It enters from Kerala and then it takes about 45 days to cover the whole country and reach northwestern part like Sri Ganganagar. So it started off this year 2 days earlier than its normal date. 30th May was the onset of monsoon over Kerala, and then it is progressing reasonably well so far. It has covered most of the Maharashtra now and southern parts of Gujarat on the western side, and then in the middle most of the Maharashtra and Raipur, half of the Chhattisgarh is covered. Eastern side Bengal, Orissa are covered, and part of Chhattisgarh and Bihar. That is the belt over which the monsoon has been active and monsoon circulation has covered. Remaining segment is yet to be covered. We have time up to 13th or 15th July for 45 days to cover. So hopefully monsoon so far is very good.
So were you expecting better than the last year?
Almost close to the last year definitely, but it could, depending upon the conditions emerging in the latter part of the monsoon, depending upon August and September conditions.
So like Dr. Ramesh, we had a severe drought 2 years back leading to a rise in the prices of the pulses as well. So you know, the drought and various weather warnings if we talk about, do you think, how do you raise these alerts especially to various sectors so that we are talking about the drought session, this can be controlled or the impact can be minimized for that matter?
Impact can be minimized if we prepare our responses in different sectors with success stories which were there, lesson learning by the sharing of success stories elsewhere. If you take the agriculture for example, 60% of our population is dependent on agriculture or agriculture related activities. Although directly agriculture will not add more than 5% to the GDP, but depending upon the population dependent on agriculture related activities, monsoon becomes very critical for their individual earnings and their livelihoods. That way, even if you see the overall agriculture scenario of the country, about 40% of the arable land is linked to irrigation canals, reservoir systems and eye cuts, etc. So almost 55% area is cultivation depends primarily on rain. It is called rain fed agriculture in our terminology we call. Wherever canal supported irrigation systems are there, it is called irrigated agriculture segment. So far, if you talked about drought which has happened in 2014 and 2015, deficiency of monsoon rainfall. So those are the situations when our rain-fed agriculture gets impacted severely, because of some water getting collected from the reservoirs, remnant of last year's storage, etc. Irrigation segment will have some support or the other for cultivation, but whereas rain-fed agriculture totally depends on the rainfall happening in that particular season, and the timing of the rainfall is very important for them to go for good yields. So that way, focus on rain fed agriculture becomes very important. If you remember, because of failure of dry rain fed crops, pulses, oil seeds, cereals have gone up, prices have shooten up enormously, even up to 200 rupees to kilogram or so. But unlike last year, when rainfall was good, distribution was good, rainfall timing of good rainfall spells were as per the expected lines. So that has contributed to bumper food grain production in the country. Never India has produced 272 million metric tons of food that way. So if good rains are there, good services are there, and farming practices are responding to changing weather and climate conditions, then we can have maximum advantage and get good yields.
How do you maintain that accuracy level?
We give different temporal outlooks. Like in April itself we talk about how much would be the quantum of 4-month monsoon season, like June to September, 4 months, what kind of monsoon rainfall quantum is expected over India. So, that we give way back in April itself, based on the conditions we monitor up to March. So, that we call it as a seasonal outlook. That is the first outlook for the seasonal quantum of monsoon rainfall is issued in April, and then we give update for it by observing the conditions over May and April and May subsequently. And then middle of June, first week of June, we come out with the second assessment of seasonal quantum of monsoon rainfall. These are the two things we give for the country and planners to have overall idea how much of the expected quantum of normal with respect to the normal quantum, how much would be India would be expecting to receive, either on above normal side or below normal side, some quantification we give. Along with that, we also say that central India how much rain would come, northwest India how much rain would come, peninsular India, northeast India. In 4 homogeneous regions also we estimate the quantum of rains which are expected to happen in a 4-month time period of June to September. As we come to the monsoon season itself, onset forecast we give. After the onset, how monsoon is moving across different parts of the country, and then rainfall associated with that. Here we have 3 different kinds of forecasts. For first 3 days, every day, next 3 days, we generate, we call it as a short range forecast. That is at a 3 kilometer grid scale resolution, we generate that forecast all over the country, where that kind of rainfall scenario is given. And then another set of forecast we generate using a global model. We run the model for whole of the globe at a grid scale of 12 kilometer resolution, and then we predict the weather for next up to 10 days. So, if you want to have longer lead time forecast, you have to expand the computational domain also. So, when you need to have more than 3 days to 5 days, 10 days, you have to run a global model. So, we run global models also twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening conditions. And then once in a week what we do is extended range forecast, next 15 days and 3 weeks later how it would be, that a kind of outlook. Once in a week we run that kind of forecast. Every Thursday we issue that extended range forecast. And then for agriculture we have a special arrangement. Every Monday and every Friday we issue forecasts district wise for next 4 days. Based on the weather conditions and the existing cropping patterns of those districts, weather based crop advisories are generated and given to them. This service we do it jointly with Indian Council of Agriculture Research, state agriculture universities, and it is a value addition. Agriculture related knowledge, farm practices, crop specific practices are bundled based on the weather information, and that is given to them. So, these are different kinds of things. If you go to aviation, continuously airports, origination airports and the destination airports weather, and flying across the destinations from the originating airport, the weather while flying and all those conditions are monitored continuously across the India, and that happens across the globe also for international airlines coming. There is an air traffic area, each country will support the monitoring and exchange the information. So, this across the 70 airports this kind of support system for aviation exists. So, continuously weather monitoring is there, and if depending upon the conditions, landing, departures are rescheduled. Fog is there, winter you see a lot of rescheduling takes place. So, that is how things are changing as the sector grows, aviation sector grows, support required for aviation sector is also increasing, precision demands of precision services will go up.
So, absolutely. So, you have different models, different setup for the different sectors. But if at all we have those natural disasters, the weather disasters, so do you have a special team, special backup and the special plan for that same?
Yes, indeed. For cyclone is an exclusive separate setup, both for observing and as well as for prediction. So, cyclone monitoring is a most critical one, because if you see decades of 1970, 1960, tens of thousands of people used to get affected because of cyclone impacts. Cyclone impacts on two factors. One is the storm surge associated with the cyclone. Low-lying areas gets inundated and lives are threatened with that. And then strong winds associated with the cyclones are there. And the time of landfall and location of landfall becomes important for the cyclone. So, over the years, depending upon the advancement of the science, so models are adopted and warning systems have improved. Cyclone prediction has become so exact now, loss of life absolutely got minimized. Now, it is only 2 digits sort of loss of life happened.
Absolutely, like Odisha 1999, it was 10,000, it has dropped down to 30.
Failin when it came, it was all less than 100. Hudud cyclone, Varda cyclone, it is all 30, 40.
Those were super cyclones.
Super cyclone. So, that has happened not because of warning alone. Along with the warning, states and the districts are also responding effectively to the warning, relocating the people from low-lying areas or vulnerable zones to a safer zones. So, emergency response system for disaster response and disaster management also has to change to the precision warnings given by the Met Department. So, these things have got perfected over the years. Now, we have achieved the target of minimizing the loss of life. Next target is minimizing loss to the infrastructure, socio-economic activities or to the economy. So, that kind of warning we have to move now. So, as the science grows, technology grows, knowledge grows, capability grows, we will be moving into new sectors and new levels of services.
To know about your present, to look into the future, we have to be connected to the past. So, let us take a quick look at how important today is and today was for all of us.
1911 में आज के दिन मैथिली और हिंदी के ख्यात जैन कवि बाबा नागार्जुन का जन्म हुआ था। इनका मूल नाम वैद्यनाथ मिश्र था। In 1911, pupils poet Baba Nagarjun was born. He has written in Hindi and Maithili. His original name was वैद्यनाथ मिश्र। 1917 में भारत के प्रसिद्ध राजनेता, उद्योगपति, शिक्षाविद और विचारक दादा भाई नौरोजी की मृत्यु हुई थी। An early Indian political and social leader, Dada Bhai Nauroji passed away in 1917. 1928 में हिंदी फिल्मों के प्रसिद्ध संगीतकार कल्याण जी का कच्छ गुजरात में जन्म हुआ था। In 1928, famous musician कल्याण जी was born in कच्छ गुजरात। 1934 में भारत रत्न से सम्मानित प्रसिद्ध वैज्ञानिक CNR राव का जन्म हुआ था। In 1934, eminent scientist भारत रत्न CNR राव was born। 1937 में दुनिया का पहला इमरजेंसी नंबर 999 लंदन में जारी किया गया था। In 1937, the world's first emergency telephone number 999 was introduced in London.
In conversation with me, Dr. K.J. Ramesh, Director General, Indian Meteorological Department. Dr. Ramesh, talking about the success stories, I would also like to talk about the action plan of 2008. Various missions has been started under the same plan, and I do think that is coming up in really flying colors. Please talk about that action plan.
To take care of the adverse impacts of changing climate and climate variability, so Government of India has announced its National Action Plan on Climate Change in 2008 to tackle the adverse impacts of climate change on different core sectors of the ecosystems and their associated economies and livelihoods, and 8 major missions have been launched. One is the solar energy mission and water mission, agriculture mission, forest mission, and one mission on sustainable Himalayan ecosystems and on urban habitat, and then one mission is on science, strategic knowledge for climate change. So, these are the major 8 missions which have started. most prominent and important one was is the solar mission, under which if you remember correctly, by 2022 or 2020 we have to generate 175 gigawatt of power from the renewable energy sources, means wind, solar, etc.
So, we will be able to?
So, already in 3 years time we have crossed 50 gigawatt of power generation so far in 3 years. It is a remarkable achievement.
Absolutely.
And private sector is instrumental in expanding the power generation in that sector. So, lot of success stories are there in mitigating, at least to generate 50 gigawatt or 50 plus gigawatt of power, we are not using our coal and other
non-renewable sources.
Non-renewable sources. That way, that much emissions are getting reduced. Action plan is to reduce the emissions and building resilience and adaptive capacities to the climate impacts. So, that is one mission, and forestry mission to expand the green cover. More green cover means carbon dioxide absorption will be more, whatever is emitted to the atmosphere. And then on power sector also, more efficient thermal power plants, supercritical thermal power plants are getting established to minimize the rate of emission from that sector. So, even in Paris Agreement also, India committed to reduce its energy efficiency, emission efficiency will be reduced to 30 to 35% with respect to the emissions of 2005. So, like that we are moving very well in improving our own controlling our own emissions, at the same time not compromising on our economy. It should not affect, emission reduction should not affect our economy.
Absolutely.
So, we are taking appropriate actions on agriculture. Climate resilient agriculture practices are adopted on ground. So, short duration crops, short duration varieties, heat resistant varieties, like that climate resilience related breeds, varieties, seeds are getting researched and they are tested for their resilience on ground, and Indian Council of Agriculture Research is doing lot of effort on the climate resilient agriculture, because impact of climate is going to be manifested in terms of extreme weather phenomena. Extreme weather phenomena is heat waves will increase, frequency intensity of heat waves will increase, cold wave frequency will increase, heavy rain events will increase, frequency of heavy rain, thunderstorm frequency will increase. So, associated setback with thunderstorm is the lightning incidences will increase. So, like this whatever extreme phenomena is likely to happen, their frequency is likely to increase. We have to have a response systems. The way we have built response system for cyclone, similarly we have to build good response systems for heat wave action plan. We are working very strongly on that. This year has been a phenomenal increase in heat wave action plans and heat wave responses across the country. And for heavy rainfall forecast, responses in cities and then river catchments has to happen. At least forecasting systems have improved by the Central Water Commission over the river related floods, but even the warning is given for urban areas about heavy rain leading to urban floods, but response systems are in the process of evolving in different cities.
So, that means the action plan, the modules are turning up into success story and
Yes.
it continues. But if there are success stories, there must be challenges as well. We will be talking about that. But I would like to ask your interest. How did your interest develop in meteorology, about the weather forecast? Because for a layman, it's very fascinating to,
Yes.
to predict about the
Yes,
weather,
yes.
predict about the rains. How did your interest develop for this meteorology?
Well, when I completed my graduation in Andhra Pradesh from a place called Warangal, then I had to look for post graduation admissions. I did from mathematics, physics, chemistry sort of specialization, science background in BSc. I was looking for appropriate subject to do the masters. So, I was looking for something different. Usually people do physics honors, chemistry honors or mathematics honors, and I was looking for applied sciences, and I applied for applied sciences only, like nuclear physics and meteorology and applied optics, applied physics, marine biology, something like the 4-5 disciplines I have applied in Andhra University. Andhra University was the good university where applied sciences were offered for masters. So, I got the admission in nuclear science and as well as this meteorology. So, between them I had
to make a choice.
I had to choose. Then nuclear science is reactors and other fusion, fission and all that. Then I read about this meteorology. I was not knowing about meteorology then. After having got the admission, I looked into, went to library and then it told that it is a science of weather, science of clouds, and a lot of satellites are used in this particular discipline. Then I got fascinated. That's how I joined into that department. I completed my masters there. Then I pursued my interest there, joined for PhD in IIT Delhi on monsoon dynamics in the Center for Atmospheric Sciences after my masters from Andhra University. That was in 82 early, and that's how my career in weather forecasting and monsoon continued.
So, talking about the specialization, because there might be many other viewers who are watching us want to get connected to this department. Tell us about the specializations under the Med department.
Med department has got specialization on forecasting, general forecasting. Within the forecasting, general weather is one, and most importantly monsoon prediction, monsoon dynamics, monsoon physics is a very core area where a lot of research support is required. We have not got good research base for this country, in this country for monsoon research. So, always we were looking on some government funded research and the international research advancement happening to improve our own forecasting systems. So, research base on monsoon and monsoon processes, monsoon physics is more important for days to come, because monsoon and its extremes, rainfall associated with the depressions and their impacts are going to be a challenge for the future. And then most important another sector is aviation sector. Aviation sector, new observation tools are there, new technology support is required, faster assimilation of changing conditions, comprehension is required, where technology support will be there, but decision of the human and its wisdom becomes important for safety operations. And then public health is the new area, we call it biometeorology in our discipline, where weather, climate and public health related, where environmental issues come into the interaction affecting the conditions. So, it is a very strong mix of these three disciplines, weather, climate, environment and public health. Other important area of research which is primarily required for the country is on link between weather and hydrology, means river base, river flooding, hydrological response to a extreme rainfall event, and then geological response to a extreme rainfall event. Landslide is a geological response to a rainfall event. Although landslides occur because of other geological factors also, many of the landslides are triggered by rains, heavy rains. So, these are the new areas where meteorology, hydrology, meteorology and geology and meteorology, public health, meteorology and agriculture, meteorology and water resources management. If you call it of clean water, clean energy, clean air, for sustainable development ultimately you have to look for creating these conditions.
Clean environment, absolutely.
Clean air, clean water and clean energy for the sustainable development. So, in all the factors leading to creating these conditions, weather plays an important role. So many allied sectors now capacities are to be built.
So, that means too many avenues, too many sectors,
Yes.
too many options.
Yes.
So, as a student, were you very studious for that matter, or no, you have enjoyed your childhood, your school going time and your college time, or no, being into such a, the responsibilities on your shoulder for that matter, or talking about any other, being a PhD. So, how do you think, how do you look back to your childhood memories?
Now, up to graduation, it was a good time to enjoy and spend good time with the friends and family, and not much pressure of academics was there till graduation. When
in spite of having physics, chemistry and maths in your
yes,
bag.
Yes, yes. It was I was too good in mathematics and physics, so that was not an issue. But when I took up my masters, it was a new discipline. It is an application of physics, application of mathematics, etc. So that's where extra effort got to be put, and that is a what you call exciting discipline. As you go deeper and deeper, and you get more and more interested into it. So that's how I got interested. More time was to be spent to have good scores, and subsequently I got opportunity to do PhD in IIT Delhi with a fellowship. So that was a major turn in my life, you can say.
So became more serious and more particular and more focused.
More focused. IIT Delhi, the kind of problems, research problems are suggested, they are of international standard problems. And to do those, address those problems also, you need to have computing power resources. Normal computers won't be meeting your requirement. So then National Informatics Center, Delhi, which was now in CGO complex, which used to be in Pushpa Bhavan at that time, they were having the biggest computer in India. So we used to go before the office starts, before 9 o'clock in the morning, after 6 o'clock in the evening, we used to go from IIT Delhi and use those computing facilities to do our research work.
And how about another 1 hour is for research, 1 hour for recreation? Any time for recreation as well?
After joining for PhD, no time for recreation.
No time.
It was a lot of work, no weekend, nothing like that. It depends on the work target, and you have to complete PhD in 3 to 4 years, 5 years time maximum.
It's not only about your life, but living a healthy life. It's not only about you, but the city, the state, the country on the whole. So we have to take about our fitness, because if you are fit, then only the nation will termed as fit.
योग हमारी शारीरिक क्षमता, मन एवं भावनाएं और ऊर्जा के स्तर के अनुरूप कार्य करता है। इसके व्यापक रूप से 4 भाग हैं। कर्म योग में हम शरीर का प्रयोग करते हैं, ज्ञान योग में हम मन का प्रयोग करते हैं, भक्ति योग में हम भावना का प्रयोग करते हैं और क्रिया योग में हम ऊर्जा का प्रयोग करते हैं। योग की जिस भी प्रणाली का हम अभ्यास करते हैं, वो एक दूसरे से आपस में कई स्तरों पर मिली जुली हुई होती हैं। हम सब इन चारों योग कारकों का एक अद्वितीय संयोग हैं। योग अभ्यासों में आसन का अहम स्थान है। योग चिंता नहीं, चिंतन करने के लिए प्रेरित करता है। आधुनिक दौर में योगासनों की महत्ता बढ़ गई है। जीवन को बेहतर बनाए रखने का एक ऐसा ही महत्वपूर्ण आसन है भुजंगासन।
Join your legs, stretch your arms, place your forehead on the ground, bend your arms, keep them beside the body, elbows parallel, shoulder down, keep the chin on the ground. Slowly inhale, raise your body up, keeping the elbows on the ground. Keep your toes and heels intact. Maintain the posture. Keep your palms where your elbows are. Elbows parallel. Slowly lift the body with inhalation. Stretch up, stretch up, stretch up. Yes, maintain the posture. Lift your head little bit. Slowly maintain. Good. Maintain the posture. Don't move. Keep your palms relaxed. Maintain. Maintain. Very good. Slowly come down. Slide your arms first. Elbows on the ground. Forehead on the ground. Stretch your arms. Stretch your arms. Good. Then bend your elbows. Keep your head on your palm. Spread your legs. Relax. Turn your head. Take a deep breathe and exhale. 1 minute.
भुजंगासन के लाभ। तनाव मुक्त रहने के लिए ये आसन सर्वश्रेष्ठ है। मोटापा घटाता है, कब्जियत दूर करता है, पीठ दर्द और श्वास नली से संबंधित समस्याओं को दूर करता है। सावधानियां। जिन लोगों को पेट संबंधी सर्जरी हुई है उन्हें 2-3 महीने तक इस आसन को नहीं करना चाहिए। जो लोग हर्निया, अल्सर से पीड़ित हैं उन्हें इस आसन का अभ्यास नहीं करना चाहिए।
In conversation with me, Dr. K.G. Ramesh, he's Director General, Indian Meteorological Department. So, talking about the fitness, you have a strict regime to follow, you have a responsibility on your shoulders, a strict routine. Any time for fitness as well, Dr. Ramesh?
Not much, but little bit. I walk to the extent it is required, and then lot of activity related to mind and planning will continue. So, always my mind will be thinking on something or the other. So, that way you are putting your energy to be attentive.
Absolutely.
And
it's basically about the channelizing of the energy.
channelizing of the energy, and demands of the day becomes very important, because once we go to office, you may have to solve certain operational priorities, some critical services, some new demands will come from different people. You have to reorganize, reposition, and daily little bit of that side, this side, to meet the prioritized requirements of the day. It is a service department, no? When
Absolutely.
so many areas are working, so many disciplines are
So,
working.
amidst of pressure, amidst of stress, you know, we are becoming tech savvy, technologically has been improving in every sector for that matter. So, talking about the Med department, how you are keeping yourself technologically equipped?
Yeah, technology has been the biggest savior in enhancing the functional efficiency and reduce manual mistakes also. So, you have to have a right mix of technology to induct into your services, and that is where major support came from the observing system side. Today, we have technologies called automatic weather stations, automatic rain gauges. We have manual ones also. They are all there. In association with them, we have migrated to the automatic system of collecting the weather information. Once you have automatic system, means you can do the rapid sampling of the data also, every 15 minutes, every 1 hour. For aviation, continuously every minute data is generated. So, like that, all these rapid sampling of changing weather conditions has become possible with the induction of new technology. So, that helps you to see how the adverse weather conditions are developing. They will not develop just like
Wonderful,
that.
yes.
So, there is a
Over the period of
over the
time.
period of hours, over period of days, different phenomena has a life cycle. So, you have an opportunity to see where that kind of triggers are happening. So, that when you have the means of capturing that information and then sending across to your forecasting desk in real time, there again communication technologies will help. Earlier we were dependent on INSAT based communications. Now, 4G systems have come, 3G systems have come. GPRS technology is helping us to receive that information in real time to forecasting desk. Then human minds can churn out and see where the severe weather conditions are developing, where normalcy exists. Wherever severe weather conditions are developing, there our watch and alerts and close monitoring will start, simultaneously using satellites, simultaneously using our own automatic weather systems. For cyclones, we will have radars. When heavy rain is developing, radar technology helps us to see where exactly within Delhi itself we can clearly say which segment of Delhi is receiving rainfall, likely to receive rainfall. Then in next 2 hours where the rainfall activity will move, all that is possible now. Earlier there was no means of capturing that information, giving that service to the people.
Earlier also they were predicted, but keeping in
But
point the
not
nature.
this
But
kind
now,
of
too meticulous and too
too
accurate.
meticulous and spatial differences, spatial characteristics of weather that was not possible. So, technology made us to adopt and provide better and better services.
Sitting back home, our viewers, for that matter, we, the society, what role do we have to play? What changes should we get into our lifestyle for that matter? Will it have an impact on controlling and improving the weather and the climate on the whole?
At least immediately, environmental degradation around you is linked to the solid waste management. Whatever waste domestically you generate, and you have to have waste management property
non-biodegradable.
Non-biodegradable and biodegradable, both. If you can segregate and give it to the solid waste collection agency, then it helps them to treat biodegradable and non-degradable separately. The problem is because of mix, we are having the waste management issue. If dumping yards are not properly handled and waste management systems are not in place, so they create lot of health hazards around them. So, public health is linked to the solid waste management. It starts from domestic. So, individuals have to contribute for the better management solid waste, and then it contaminates your air and it contaminates your water, both.
So, we have to do is segregate between the biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste.
And then we maintain cleanliness in our households, but surrounding us also we should contribute for the clean air and clean environment around you. Once individually contribute like this, it incrementally adds to the change. And then emissions from the transport sector, vehicles and all. So, where now more and more diesel related consumption and vehicles we have to reduce in times to come. The number of vehicles have gone up. It is not the same India, same country. Number of vehicles have gone up, roads are same and areas are same only. So, we have to reduce the use of diesel, and country is moving for cleaner fuels, low sulfur and lead free petrol and other things. So, we are going for clean fuels in times to come. At the same time, consumption of these fossil fuels also has to reduce. Go for hydrogen cell will come tomorrow, and CNG is already there. So, like that, emission reduction is also a responsibility of individual citizens. So, that contributes to the overall clean air environment of cities, and then ultimately add to the country.
Coming back to climate, talking about India's climate is too vulnerable. It has an impact on the neighborhood countries if we talk about. So, how do you think is the parallel running situation is also too bad when we talk about India's perspective?
No, India's is helping all neighboring countries, although our whole of Southeast Asia is vulnerable to extremes, disasters and climate extremes. It is a vulnerable zone in terms of adverse impacts, both from climate and the natural hazards, and that is how whatever knowledge advancement, whatever service level advancements are there, as in India, whole of North Indian Ocean like Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, we are helping all those countries in warning about cyclones, warning about tsunamis, and all those services are extended to those countries. So, knowledge transfer and knowledge based services are rendered to those countries, and we have a lot of training programs with the Met services of Bhutan, Nepal, even Sri Lanka, Maldives, Afghanistan. Pakistan also joins in those professional interactions. We have something called Climate Outlook Forum. The way we give long range forecast of monsoon in April, no, India, as I said, the same thing we have under the umbrella of Climate Outlook Forum. We organize discussions of all the South Asian countries, how the monsoon is going to be in those countries, and how they can prepare themselves. The way India is preparing based on the monsoon forecast, those countries also can plan. So, there is something called Climate Outlook Forum, where India takes a lead and then helps those countries. For one Climate Outlook Forum for summer, one Climate Outlook Forum for winter is there. Although Myanmar is not part of SAARC and South Asia, Myanmar also joins in those discussions now with us. So, that way there is no difference between neighborhood country or other country. Oman wants to work with India for tsunamis and cyclone response impact, other things. So, like that, whatever country wants to interact with India and build knowledge level support for improving services in their countries, we are open. We have something called new platform led by India itself, regional integrated multi-hazard early warning systems. About 16 countries are already partnered in this particular platform, where India helps to building country specific warning services to those countries. Secretary Ministry of Earth Sciences chairs that. It is a multi-country platform. So, like that, multiple channels, multiple ways under SARC, BIMSTEC, RHIMES, India is helping.
So that means another countries want to get connected. India is leading, India is working, and but talking about, there might be certain areas of concerns as well, certain challenges that the Met Department is facing, not only naturally for that matter. So what are the various, you say, majorly the areas of concern for the Met Department?
Met Department areas of concerns or warning systems, observing systems are not good in our Himalayan states like Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal and Uttarakhand. Similarly, 7 northeast states, we do not have the way in plain areas systems are there, service mechanisms are there, that kind of service mechanisms are not there. In next 3 years, we are going to build, address those sectors where they should be also having good connectivity issues are there. Even if you have means of establishing your observatories, throughout the year connectivity is an issue in Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal, Northeast also. So, there we are working with state governments, we are identifying areas, zones where we can set up our observing systems immediately. Maybe after 2 years time they increase the connectivity and then we can expand the networks. So, this is the area, improving the services for Northeast and hill states is the immediate priority of the Met Department, and that is where we are focused on.
So do you think in the years or the time to come the problems would be solved as well?
Yeah, by 19 we are targeting to complete that expansion and improved services rolling out by 2019 we are targeting. With that timeline we are working now.
So too many targets, too many areas to completion, too many success stories already in the counter, but many to make. Talking about you said for the recreation, it's always, I think every success story adds on to the recreation. Yes, yes. But how about, are you into any music for that matter or any sport which keeps you rejuvenated?
My mother was very good Karnataka vocal singer. Karnataka
so you have adapted from her?
So she made me to learn Karnataka Sangeet also when I was in school, but subsequently I did not practice much, but I do sing occasionally. Yes.
On that note, thank you so much Dr. Ramesh for coming,
Welcome.
For discussing. It was pleasant having you here.
My pleasure to be discussing with you on this platform. Thank you.
That's it in today's edition. If you have any feedback, any views and opinion, you can email us at this address. Our email address is aajsavere@ddkdelhi.org.in. That's it in today's edition of Aaj Savere. This is Shikha Sachdeva signing off on the behalf of entire team. Goodbye and namaskar.